Hello.
Hey!
All right.
All right, mate.
You going?
Oh, I am, mate. I'm recording, by the way, so anything you say can and will be taken down and used in evidence against you.
Oh.
I know. Sorry. Um, so this is weird, isn't it? Because it's like we're on a Zoom, and I feel like we're waiting for the other three to arrive. Yeah, it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd.
How's
But
you?
how have you been, man? How have you been?
Been all right? How are you? You been good?
Yeah.
I
As
know
we
things
speak.
have been going on in the studio.
As we
Hey.
speak, yeah, Johnny is smashing out the new Acid Rain album. He's done in the first 2 days. He's managed to do half the album.
Nice.
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
on,
very
Johnny.
cool. Go on, Johnny, go on. Um, so yeah, it's really weird. In fact, we've just done about 8 weeks of like arguing or pre-production as people call it. It's arguing. Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. And uh, it's kind of weird because we've bonded as a group really quickly, and Darren was saying because it like Darren is almost like the Paul. Darren was a big fan. Darren has admitted that he's mimed playing a tennis racket to Acid Rain. So it's like him now being in the band still a sort of weird thing for him. And but he was saying that because we do weekends and we're all living at my house, we're all on top of each other. He said it really kind of speeds the bonding process open
Mhm.
up. And he uses an example, a band of his that they all live in the same area, and all they ever do is meet at rehearsal, rehearse, go home, or gig. And he said, like, I've been out for more drinks and more meals with you guys in like 8 weeks than I have done in like 8 years.
Well, yeah, it's an important part of it, the bonding. Of course it is. You're in a band.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You've got to be together and work together and get to know
yeah,
each other.
yeah. No, it is. But it's been great. It's been really cool. Um, but anyway, look, let's talk about you. And I mean, obviously, I think the last time I was on a Zoom with you, it was probably you saying, I think it's time to take a step back from Acid Rain, which, to be honest, wasn't a massive surprise. Um, and I remember saying to you when you joined the band 10 years previously, look, if someone comes in for you and they want to, and you want to step up your game and tour the world and all the rest of it, I'll, shake your hand and wish you all the best. And that's what happened in the end. I just didn't think it'd be 10 years, mate.
Sorry, it took so long to get rid of us. Yeah, you instantly regretted saying that though.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm saying you instantly regretted saying that though on that phone call.
No, not at all. Not at all. Um, and look, I totally understand. I mean, it must have been weird for you because
Yeah, well,
I remember that moment after our last gig, and the two of us were like in that stairwell. Like, how many stairwells have we been in over the years? we were we were both in that stairwell, all sweaty, both on a high of having just done a gig, but also like both. I think like I had a mixture of adrenaline and emotion that I don't think I've had before because I was like, that was great, but that's also never going to happen again.
yeah,
And there was a point where I think it was in Motherly Love, obviously last tune. There was a point where I was watching you play it and I just thought, I love that bit he does there. And then another voice in my head went, yeah, not going to see that again, are you? And it was really odd. It was really odd. Um, because it's quite rare to do a gig with somebody that you know is leaving and there's absolutely no bad blood.
exactly. And you've got to think as well from the very, very start, even before, Acid Rain had the full lineup at that time. it was me, you, and Paul just getting together in a rehearsal room and jamming. It wasn't even a full band,
Yeah.
So it's like out of everyone who's been kind of close to anyone from, the beginning, it's like me and you really, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
from the get-go,
From
we essentially,
2014, mate.
yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Like we essentially kind of made the decisions on, who we thought was going to be right for the band and stuff like that. And a lot of the big decisions were made from that point onwards, and we kind of became that part of that kind of responsibility of the band. It kind of felt, because we were kind of the ones that started it from that point,
Yeah.
and made the decisions on what members came in, and you know, yeah,
Well, there was a while there where you were in a band with Mac, former Acid Rain bass player, not original, but
yes,
replaced
that's
it.
true.
You were in a band with Mac for quite a while. He's just you never saw him, and he
Yeah.
never made it to rehearsals. And in
No,
fact,
he
the
made
first
it.
the first
He
time you
made
did
it to
meet
one
him,
gig,
first time you did meet
Newcastle.
him, we were on the fucking road.
It was in Newcastle, wasn't it? Was it in
Uh,
Newcastle?
the was it the Clooney 2017?
Yeah, it was. Huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Never
I
met him,
know.
but met him in the fucking tune.
And he came to Scarborough in 2019. I mean, what a
Yeah,
ledge. What a place to get
yeah,
to. What a place to
absolutely.
get to. But yeah, I mean, when you said it's like time to step back, it's a few people have asked me about it, and I just said, look, basically, Mark did what any any decent human being would do, and that is he could stay in the band. He could stay in the band, juggle the two, and then things come to a head, and there's either bad blood on his side and Venom Inc. side, or there's bad blood on our side, or and so he's just taken a look down the road and gone, yeah, do you know what? I can see where this is going, and whilst I could keep going, it's almost basically, it's breaking up with someone where you're still in love, but you know that there's no future, so you're going to have to sort of, you know, you're going to have to end it now, and yeah,
Yeah, it was a very difficult decision for me. It was something I was on my mind for a while, ever since the Venom Inc. thing, really. And it was difficult because again, the bond that we had, the friendship that we had, the many memories. Uh, it's like they say when you're in a band, it's like uh, you become family, and it was kind of like it felt like, I was walking away from a family. It was really bizarre.
yeah.
Um, because we did a lot together. We did, the Plan of the Damned. We did the Age of Entitlement.
Man who became himself.
Man Who Became Himself. We did quite a lot of other things, kind of in the background that never really got released. But there was a lot that we went through. Um, that it made it difficult to make that decision, because it was like I would have loved to have done both, but
Yeah,
I just didn't think it was going to be fair.
yeah, and
You know,
but that's when without wanting to completely kiss your ass. That's but that's what a proper human being does. They don't selfishly carry on for what's best for them. They take a look around and go, well, actually, do you know what? It's not best for me, but it is best for them. And they can crack on and find somebody else. Um, which again took a while. We've already mentioned Johnny. For those of you who don't know, Johnny is Mark's replacement. He played in Shrapnel, so we've toured with him twice.
Mhm.
And top dude, and he is literally recording as Mark and I speak. He's down in Wales with Jace and Matt, recording away. Um, but yeah, it was just one of those things. It was just one of those things, and I'm ultimately, it's very difficult not to be pleased for you, but I managed it.
Thank you.
No, no, I genuinely, I mean, I've known Tony for years. I know you've known Tony for years. Um, and it kind of feels like, you went home basically after all these years. Basically you had a 10-year affair with Acid Rain, but eventually, you've you've gone back to where you belong.
Yeah, it's kind of very strange, because I was asked to be the Venom Inc. drummer. It was actually from the Lord of the Lands festival that we did in Scotland. Was it Edinburgh
20, yeah, that was
or
2017. That
Glasgow?
that was also on the April Fool's tour. Yeah, that was 2017.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember it well. Yes, I
yeah.
remember. I remember you and I having long discussions about rates and their management, etc. And yeah, it never happened, did it?
No, Abaddon was in the band at that point. A lot of people don't actually know this. Abaddon was in the band at this point. They were having trouble with Abaddon. Both Mantis and the Demolition Man spoke to me after they played. I just went over to say hello, and they were like, "Look, would you be interested in joining Venom Inc?" This was before Jeremy Kling was their drummer as well. Um, that didn't happen because it wasn't that far out from after Empire of Evil. So, the label didn't think it was a good idea just yet, so I had to kind of hang fire. Um, but it was always kind of, I always had messages from Tony just saying, oh, it would be great to have you back sometime and all that kind of stuff, which was really nice. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing with Mantis and Abaddon, it's kind of blown my mind, to be honest. I don't know if you've seen what's been going on, but
Yeah, I know, and it's for those of you who don't know, there is a legal case going on, um,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean it's yeah bands, although uniquely Venom. I mean, for once, the weird thing is, for me as an outsider, right? Yeah, I've seen this play before, okay, and for once, the star of the show isn't Conrad because it
I
usually
know.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And no, this time it's let's just say an unlikely pairing of Mantis and Abaddon from the original Venom. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know that Mandis has gone through a lot. Obviously he's had the two heart attacks. One he died and kind of got brought back, which is amazing news. But when it came to the Benjamin thing, he said that he just couldn't tour because of his health and all
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
totally understandable.
Which is, yeah, because Benjamin tour quite a lot, and obviously that would be difficult for him.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I spoke to Tony, I think, on the motorcast, and he was saying that the guy you brought in was only ever a cover, a touring guitarist, and
yeah, yeah.
and that's what he and you guys told everybody. But it's this thing in bands. I've seen this happen before, where um like you do that, and you get the covering guitarist, and all of a sudden, the guy who's not on tour starts feeling like excluded, and like you're carrying the band on without him despite the fact that this has all been agreed. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah, but it still feels like somehow there's plotting not going on behind their back, but right in front of their eyes.
yeah, yes. I understand that fear of like, oh no, that guy might take my job. I
Yes,
understand that. I'm sure Lars Ulrich felt like that when Dave Lombardo and Joey Jordison,
I'm sure
all the
Lars
other
Ulrich felt
drummers
like that
stepped in.
anytime any drummer gets behind the kit.
Hey, stop it! I'll back Lars forever. But yeah, I mean, the biggest shock for me was how he kind of came out to the press without speaking to any of us and decided not to do Venom anymore. And obviously the fallout with Tony, that was a big shock.
Yeah,
There was nothing really said. And the biggest shock of all is actually that he's out with Abaddon. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, that's the biggest shock, And there's interviews online where, Mantis is absolutely slating Abaddon, and Abaddon slating Mantis. And
yeah.
it,
I
it's
know,
it's
but
good. It's beautiful that like that Mantis is actually out playing, but
yes,
just to
yeah.
do it with that guy,
And it's cool,
I'm
but
not about
but
it.
it's cool those two have got back together as well after all those years. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
I totally.
it's a shame where what that's led to or what that seems to be leading to. But even that is nice to see. It's like two-thirds of the actual original Venom playing
Yeah.
together. That's great. But funnily enough, I know a massive, massive Venom fan, and
Okay.
he told me that last time he saw you lot, that you are playing those songs better than anybody has played them, and he includes like the original Abaddon drums, which he loves because he's a total Venom head. And yeah, I mean that's
That's huge.
it's absolute testament to the job you're doing, and I knew you're doing an amazing job because of that rock feel in Venom.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
It, it-
go. See, you get it now.
oh yeah, oh now you're in another band, mate. I don't give a shit.
How many years have I been saying I'm a rock drummer? I'm
But
not just specifically a metal drummer, but yeah, I
well,
know what you mean.
genuinely, I've said this to Johnny, and I'll say it to you. I genuinely think that we've actually been really lucky because you were the perfect fit for the Age of Entitlement, and Johnny is the perfect fit for the new one. It
Awesome.
absolutely spot on. But anyway, your rock feel, and where you come from, um, that Black Sabbath place, it just totally works in Venom, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be groove. I think with any old school band, you've got to have that groove, and groove to me is an essential thing. Um, I'm not about. Uh, there's very few modern drummers that I look up to. Um, like Martin Lopez, Mario Du- Duplantier. I mean, can you say Dave Lombardo's modern? No, but but
No,
yeah, I
but
mean, there's
massively influential.
yeah, of course, yeah, and I always look up to the drummers who have a lot of groove and feel in their playing, um, and I try to incorporate that into my playing. I think it's really important, and I think it's something that music nowadays is missing big time,
Yeah,
with all the technology that's about, all the
yeah.
studio software we use.
Well, I totally agree, and we've talked about this at length, and I just think that, like I said, you're made for Venom, they're made for you. It's also, I mean, this is the other thing that people don't understand as well. I mean, we're based in pretty much in London. This is where we're housed. Whenever we play shows, you've got to get back home, etc. Which is, that's just one of those things, and managed it for 10 years, no problem. Um, but all of that is just added drain, the transport, everything else is just a drag. Um,
Yeah,
and you kind of don't need that because I know 10 years is a long time, and in that period you became a dad, which I know obviously because you're a human being, had a big effect on you.
yeah,
And I know since being in Venom that we've spoken, and as you've said, look, I'm putting every penny away I can. I want to take my daughter to Disneyland, and this is all I'm doing. I'm doing it all for them. Obviously not all, because there's there's
yeah,
uh
yeah.
there's fun to be had, and there's you obviously want to achieve things, and some of the fucking festivals you played have been absolutely mind blowing. But it must be tough with all leaving all that love at home.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely the hardest part of being a musician, and I think the really difficult part is when you worry about how they feel when you go away. You know, like, oh, they are they like really kind of missing you to the point where they're like getting really sad about it, and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
the difficult part about it is, you know, for me personally, I put a lot of work into music, as it was a dream of mine to become a musician, a true musician, and essentially it's who I am. It's a huge part of who I am. And the other side of that, I'm a father, and it's 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 quite a task mentally to juggle the two. Yeah, I mean it's certainly the hardest part, being away um from my kids. Absolutely.
yeah. And the thing is, none of that is in your control, is it? And it's. I'm sure that they're at an age as well where you can kind of explain what's going on and why, but it's not going to compute, is it?
No, no. Yeah, it is a very difficult thing. But there is. Uh, I mean, the weird thing is I always think, okay, well, at least I'm not going to war. There's always something kind of worse that you could be doing, that potentially could lead to something drastic. Um,
Yeah,
so that's the positive side. And it's yeah, that's definitely the most challenging thing for me, is being away. Um, just Of course, I enjoy myself when I go away.
yeah,
Um, of course, I miss my kids, and it's like it's all about trying to not let yourself worry about something that potentially they probably aren't worrying about anyway. Like, for example, when I
yeah,
was on tour for 8 weeks, I was like, oh no, like, my kid's gonna be really sad about me going away. And she was absolutely fine. She's been really mature about it for a 7-year old.
wow.
Yeah, she's been really strong about it. So
No, it's just the fact
yeah.
that she's seven. Bloody, where did those years go?
Yeah. And she's really tall.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I bet she's seven and taller than me, you cheeky bastard.
Probably, yeah.
It's not hard. She's probably taller than me in the womb.
But I think the hardest thing out of all of that, honestly, and I speak for anyone who's a musician who is a single father, is having, for me, I've had a lot of guilt put on me for for the parents of my kids,
Yeah.
basically, who have made me feel guilty, as if I'm just going away for fun. Basically, that's kind of what it feels like.
That
Guilt
that
is a
is
guilt.
that is an easy accusation to throw around though, isn't it? And it's like the thing is, it's like as you have just said, yes, there is fun involved. We've been clear about this. Going on
Yeah,
tour, yeah, is fun. Sorry, hands up.
yeah,
Apologies for doing a job that involves fun. But it's fun for a fucking hour, hour and a half at best. And
yeah,
the rest of it is missing your loved ones, being knackered, traveling, and just dealing with all sorts of shit. You're constantly, right, where's the hotel? How are we eating? What time is sound check? When are we on? Right, pack up. Can we get out? No. When does the car park open? How do we get? It's never ending.
yeah. Yeah, you very rarely get a rest, and it is a lot to do, and it is absolutely work. And it's like, you know, I've been told that it's not a job, and it's like, well, it is. And I think that's the thing. I don't think the government particularly helps matters. with not seeing art as such an essential part of people's lives. It's kind of weird for me because it's like when you think about lockdown, it's like, who were the people that the government were relying on? It was the entertainers, it was the artists.
Well, to be fair, no, who they were relying on was key workers, which was people working at
Well, yes, yes,
Sainsbury's,
yes,
and you've
of
you've just
course. The
absolutely
more
dissed.
important.
You've dissed all
No,
of them,
no, I
right?
haven't.
If you're a key worker listening to this, my apologies on Mark's behalf. He does appreciate you.
Hey, my mother works for the NHS, so shut up.
Okay,
No, but it's so true though. Like, the government really did kind of look up to the artists
keep people entertained.
to keep people entertained, And
Yeah.
then ever since lockdown's over, it's like, oh well, they've done their job. That's it. It's like
Yeah, but it's the
no,
same.
like
It's the same with everybody else. We called people who work in supermarkets key workers. We elevated them to a status of they're the only people who are allowed out because they're important. And
yeah,
now people are just back to grabbing loaves of bread and walking out the supermarket and will punch anyone who stops them. So, you know,
yeah,
it's like we're just another bunch of people who the government doesn't give a shit about. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it's just one of them.
It's just a shame, really, because it is such an essential part of people's lives,
Agreed.
But getting back to the kind of thing about being on tour away from the kids and whatnot. Yeah, it's like the last thing that I personally need, and this I'm speaking out for any sort of person who might be going through the same thing about having that kind of guilt kind of weighted on them when they go away for work. Um, is that when you're already kind of worrying about your kids kind of missing you and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
when you've got that worry and you don't particularly want to go because you worry about what how they're going to cope or if they're going to cope when with you being away. Having that on top of you is very difficult to come to terms with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like an overload of guilt that you don't need when you've already got that percentage of guilt anyway.
Well,
It makes it very difficult.
and to be clear, you're not with your partner. And the thing is, let's face it, it's bad enough if you are with your partner and and doing all this. So not being with your partner is, yeah, it's I'd imagine it's worse.
Yeah, yeah, and even when you're on the road and stuff, and you get, the guilt still kind of pushed on you. It's very, very difficult to keep yourself focused on one thing, because you're always as a father, you're always going to have that focus on your kid when you're away, or you know, um, and but when that guilt is kind of weighted on you as well, that won't help mentally the challenges that come with being on the road anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you're already at work and you're doing all this kind of stuff. You're already missing your family, and then you have this guilt that's pushed on you, that's weighted on you and stuff. And I just think, I just think I'm not the only one out there who goes through this, and I just think it's a really important thing to discuss. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, anybody who works
like
away, whether you're touring or working on an oil rig 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, it's that same deal.
yeah, yeah. I think the main problem is that people who don't understand the arts don't see it as a job.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's not
Totally
just
agree.
it's not just right. I'm just going to go away and go and party and all this kind of stuff that they hear about and all that kind of stuff. It's work,
Yeah.
and it's not easy work either. It's non-stop. It's tiring. Yeah, you very rarely get a break. So, yeah, if anyone else is going through it, then, I think it's very important that people kind of speak up about it,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to mental health as well, because it's been such a challenge for me for not feeling guilty when I actually go away to the point where I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to go, I need to go, I need to go, and it's like it's not a very nice feeling at all, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that I'm not the only one who goes through something like this,
Yeah.
especially with my mental health anyway. I mean, it's no secret to yourself, H, that I've got anxiety, and depression, and that's a challenge in itself, and having that on top is just another extra weight of um, mental challenges,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
not what you need.
Yeah. It's kind of triggering, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, yeah, I just think it's such an important thing for people to actually come up and actually talk about because no one really has. And I find it very hard to believe that I'm the only one who goes through this,
Oh,
you
I
know?
totally agree. I mean, I had a counselor once who her specialism was performers because she was an ex-performer herself. She was a former opera singer, and she when I see her, she said like a couple of her clients who she sees regularly, at least once a fortnight. She said, except when they go on tour, and she said she could be Skyping with them every day just to help keep them on the straight and narrow, just to keep the head straight. And it's yeah, it's without a doubt a thing. I mean, I remember, bands are people too. It's one of them, isn't it? It's like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
come and play my town. Tell you what, why don't you get off your ass and come find us?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but I know I'm not going to say who, but I know of a band that I am connected to, and I put someone on the guest list for their tour. And a few days before the tour, they pulled the tour. And I had this person moaning, going, "Oh, I was really looking forward to that. Oh, I'm in a really bad place at the moment. Oh, I was really," and I was like, "Well, great, thanks for that message of doom." What I didn't say, because it was completely, it was complete secret, is that one of the band had gone to their brother's 40th birthday, and their brother had dropped down dead in the middle of his own 40th birthday party. And funnily enough, that member of that band didn't feel like he was able to then all of a sudden go on tour. So they pulled the whole tour. And it's just like when I got this message from this person, I was just like, if only you knew. If only you
Absolutely.
knew. You know, it's the shit that you don't see. I mean, God, so, if you've ever watched a documentary on Rush, fucking hell, Neil Peart, there's somebody whose life was not a laugh. You know?
Tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, yeah. As is, funnily enough, this is a weird segue, as is them coming back. That's what's absolutely tragic. Any thoughts on it as being a drummer yourself? Oh yes, I know. Your thought was, how man, get Portnoy in.
Well, yeah, I thought he would be the perfect choice, the obvious choice, but there's got to be reasons somewhere why they didn't choose them. Um,
Yeah,
choose them, but yeah, I mean, they seem pretty happy with who we've got, so it's their band.
yeah, I know. Just doesn't seem right though. Really doesn't. Um, so you've played some pretty fucking big shows since you went into Venom. So you've done South America.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing, absolutely mind blowing. We're going back there in February, starting on the 3rd. So playing in Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and Brazil. Um, and yeah, it's just the place to be when it comes to playing shows.
yeah.
They're just crazy, absolutely bonkers. I mean, I witnessed things that I've never ever seen from the crowd. It's just,
So,
yeah.
such as, are you allowed to mention any of those things?
Yeah, I mean, there was the first show that we did in Chile. It was in this like big theatre, and I had this balcony at the top, right at the back, and I mean, it was packed, so that was like, where you obviously sit down. Anyway, these people were standing up, and literally everyone who was first sitting down stood up, took their tops off, men and women, and tied their t-shirts all together, chucked it over the railings, and just climbed down. And I was
Bloody
playing. I
hell.
was just like, what the? It was just absolutely crazy. And it was like saying, I don't know, just like some fucking SWAT team
Yeah.
coming down. Because that place was emptied from that. It was just like, that is absolutely insane. And it was all because they wanted to be in amongst the crowd.
Yeah. Can you imagine that happening at Newcastle City Hall?
No. Well, the bouncers would be right on your case
That's what
first
I
of
mean.
all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. And then you had there was this woman who lit up a flare in Sao Paulo in Brazil, in the middle of the crowd. She went crowd surfing whilst having this flare in her mouth. Got up on stage with this flare in her mouth and started headbanging. And you're just like, what is going on? It was just such a rock and roll experience. It was like you kind
It
of
sounds
felt
like
like
a total lack of health and safety experience.
that too. Yes, absolutely. But it's like even when you arrive at these venues, you have people banging on the bus and whatnot, and you get escorted into the building by the security because they're just like savage animals, just like trying to grab you and get your
Like a
attention.
pack of zombies.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's just such a surreal experience, but amazing place to play. And the one place where we were supposed to play last time we were out there was Argentina, which didn't happen. It got cancelled. Don't know what for, but it got cancelled. But this time we're playing there again. And yes, Argentina's got this rep for being the best place to play, the loudest crowd in the world. So cannot wait for that. And this
Yeah, I
tour
bet.
is with Forbidden and Violence, by the way,
Oh,
who
wow.
very, very quickly became close friends. Yeah, we had Chris Contos, um, and yeah, like playing um, Witching Hour in one of
Nice.
the shows in America. But he came to quite a lot of shows, such a great guy. I mean, I met him through you.
I know. At Bloodstock.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, you two, yeah, you two were thick as thieves within fucking minutes.
yeah, yeah. We were just discussing our favorite drummers and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, the obvious. And then we
I
had a
remember him saying that he was in this in the uh Bay Area band, and like the members keep changing. The only rule is you're not allowed to play a song of any band you've been in the Bay Area.
Mhm.
And he got Fight Fire with Fire, and he was like, "Oh, great, heard this a million times, no problem, I'll knock this out." And then he started trying to play it, and he was like, "Man, this is not the fucking song I thought it was." Total kind of
Yeah, yeah.
like talking about all the sort of non-drummery weird stuff that Lars does in that song.
Well, yeah, yeah. There's, I mean, like I say, I'll always back Lars. Like to be
I
honest,
know,
I think he's
I
done
know.
his bit
But
and still is doing.
don't let me derail your stories of Chris. So was that was over in South America?
Yeah, yeah. But first, I wanted to mention though, when
Yeah,
when we actually first met in Bloodstock, we
yeah.
actually had a Black Sabbath drum off.
You did on that little electronic kick backstage.
Yep, which was awesome. It was so cool because we were just like, just kind of talking about Bill Ward non-stop, and then I was like, "Oh, there's an electronic kit over there. Why don't we play some Black Sabbath, and then it just happened. We played two songs each, so
A Bill Wardathon.
it's really really cool to be part of, such a
Yeah.
cool moment. So thank you for that, H.
Sorry? Oh, it's my pleasure,
So thank
mate.
you.
It's my just, bring people together. That's what I'm all about.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. But yeah. So he was there a lot in the for the American tour in the US, and in one of the shows, the singer in Violence was at the show as well. And he basically said, "Oh, we should tour together." And Forbidden said, "Oh, we should tour together," because the guitarist in Forbidden actually played Witch and Hour as well, um, which was really really cool. And we played Ripwide together. Um, that was me on the kit with the
yeah.
guitarist from Forbidden. Um, so yeah, really cool to actually meet those guys and actually have the opportunity to tour with both of them.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be incredible. I mean, what a lineup! It's
Oh,
just
yeah, it's insane.
amazing.
It's insane. So, is there any plans for any new Venom Inc. in the works?
Yes, we're currently working on a new album. We have a release coming up early next year, which will be live recordings from each country that we've played, really. Um, so
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
that's going to be incredible. So there'll be South America and there'll be the US and the European tour as well. So it'll just be, songs picked from particular places and put on the
So,
album because
so you're doing
we recorded every show that we've done.
a full-on old school live album.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
brilliant.
Nice. Wow. That's going to be fucking awesome. So, and
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
and after that, a new album.
yep, yeah. So we're working on that at the moment. Yeah, so. Obviously, Curran lives in America. Tony lives in London. I live in Newcastle. Well, not now. Live in County Durham.
Yeah.
But
Big
yeah, so
move.
the distance, as you know, the distance kind of stops you from being able to actually get together and rehearse. But Tony and Curran are actually on their way to mine as we speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for rehearsal for the Bloodstock Winter Gathering,
Ah,
which is
yes.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Candlemass headlining for their anniversary
Yeah.
at Cape Steel Mill. We're just before Candlemass, and we are playing the album Ave in its entirety, which has never been done.
Oh,
So
cool.
that should be awesome, really cool. So yeah, but yeah, I can't really say too much about the album just yet, but I'm really excited about it. I think the lineup that is Venom Inc. now is very very strong. I think what Curran's brought to the band, especially, is monstrous in one word to describe his sound, his performing, his engagement with the crowd, everything about him, his personality as a person, um, just amazing. A really, really cool guy to be in a band with, you know.
I remember the first live video I saw of you guys, and I thought, fucking hell, you know, old Mantis is chucking that guitar around for somebody who's had a heart attack.
Yeah, that was Indonesia. That was weird because that was actually my first ever show with Venom Inc. and it was Curran's.
Oh, wow.
So that lineup never changed from then on.
Wow. That's
And that was
ballsy
when
move from
Curran was
Mr.
only,
Dolan there.
yeah, that was Curran's first show, and it was uh, him stepping in for Mandis, until Mandis was better to come back out and
Yeah.
um, yeah, tour with Venom Inc. So it's kind of I think it's a really cool story how it's kind of stayed that way. Unfortunately, Mandis didn't come back, but dare I say it, after that show, I did say to Tony that um, if Mandis for whatever reason doesn't come back because of his health, he is the guy. Curran is the guy.
Yeah.
You know, he just absolutely nailed it. You
Also,
know, we've got
you
so
just
many
know as well,
similarities.
don't you? You just
Yeah,
know when it's the
absolutely.
right
Just
person.
it just clicked. It just clicked straight away, and it was such a bizarre um, feeling for me, uh, to be honest. Because I know that Tony's seen him before, because his band toured with Venom Inc. on the US tour before I was in the band. So that's how kind of came into the limelight, if, so to speak. So it was, yeah, it was quite a shock for me how right it felt and sounded even then, and it was kind of weird of having that feeling of like, okay, so wait till Mantis is back, and we're just kind of say, okay, maybe see you later, going. But it is really cool to have the lineup, and we were all kind of, even Curran was kind of sad about, Mantis not coming back, because Curran's always spoke highly of Mantis, and has always said he's only, he's doing this for him,
Yeah.
essentially, until he gets better. So yeah, but it's so cool to have Curran in the band, and it's a very strong lineup, and we all get on very well, and it's just great. Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's the thing, right? I mean, a three piece, that's just it's weird, but I guess you've still got crew around and everything else, so there's still kind of, a core of people as opposed to, but it is just smaller, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's you've got to have a big sound to fill out that. You know what I mean? As a guitarist, you have to have a big sound to fill out a three piece.
Yeah,
You know, and it's not just the guitar though. It's Tony's bass as well. It's got to be everything's just got to be big. Really, you've got to fill out the sound as a three piece. Otherwise, you're just going to sound tiny, and that's the challenge.
well the template is out there, and the template was out there for many many years, Motorhead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that exactly. Yeah, and they did it extremely well, obviously. Um, and I think we're doing a pretty good job as well. We've had no negative feedback from anyone
Yeah.
who's been to the show so far. It's all been super positive, and you know, um, even before Curran was in the band, people kind of seem to really like his style of playing, his performing, because he's a great performer. He's very much. There's a lot of similarities between him and Mandis in performing, and even the sound. And it's without Curran even trying to be like Mandis. It's very very strange, but it
Yeah.
just yeah, it just works. It really does.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm, look forward to what you guys produce next. Is that going to be Nuclear Blast, or is there another album with them?
We're kind of discussing things at the moment with quite a few labels that have been in touch and want to kind of get a hold of this, the next album. So yeah, that's kind of being discussed at the moment. I think
Yeah.
at the moment our priority is just to work on the album.
Yeah. But I mean, look, that's cool, and it's great when you've got people who are interested, and ultimately, it always makes me laugh when people are like, oh, what label's it on, and whatever label you say, it's like, oh, well, why didn't you do this, or wait, and it's like, look, in this day and age, well, in any day and age, it's always the same thing. You go with the labels that want you, you know,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's simple as that. And I'd rather be on a smaller label who is like fucking itching to have you than a bigger one saying, yeah, we'll chuck you in the machine and throw
Yeah,
your album
exactly.
out the same way we do with everybody else. It's just like, well,
Yeah.
you know, but these guys over here are absolutely fucking like totally up for it. And
Yeah, and I think
um,
the thing is if you do that, you've got more potential of them putting the work in,
yeah,
towards your band, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want to just join someone who's got a million other bands who are more important and bigger who they're focusing on. Because,
Yeah.
what's the point of that? You're just going to be
Well,
kind of hovering in the background.
we've got a new live agent, and he's a young guy, well, mid-30s. And I did a bit of asking around about him, and then we had a chat and all the rest of it. And we're by far the biggest band that he's got on his agency, and he is, it's great. It's like having a Rottweiler, and you just like let him go, and he wants to use our name to raise, the profile of his agency and start working with promoters that he hasn't worked with before, and but is working with us, and so it's great, brilliant. He gets something out of it. We'll get something out of it. Um,
Exactly.
and I'd much rather that than you're just on another, you're on a live agency who's got a load of other bands that are similar, and I mean, this guy's been paid such close attention to everything, and the routing as much as anything, which is absolutely key. But yeah, it's much better to have people who are just enthusiastic about what you do than necessarily have clout.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think it's such an important thing, because at the end of the day, it's not just the band that's a family, it's everyone who's involved in that.
Yeah,
Um, it's not just the band members, that's what I mean. It's the whole core of whoever works within the band as well,
yeah,
And that's the thing, you've got to work together, and it works both ways, If they're not putting the work in, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's a business at the end of the day. So,
yeah.
and you don't really get anywhere with the business if you don't put the work in.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And also it's standard now, whatever band you're in, you get off road and you're back to whatever job that it is that you're holding down, who's agreed to you know, keep you on despite the fact that you're away all this time, or you're self-employed and it's back to chasing people for business, and and all the rest of it. And yeah, it's it's a whole kind of other deal when you're not on the road.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I'm self-employed. I'm a drum teacher, um,
I
and
know.
I specifically do that so I can actually have the availability to be able to go out and tour, and
Yeah,
that's my kind of sacrifice towards being able to do music. Because I know a lot of people who just get tied down to jobs and then they can't do the things that I do.
yeah,
And that there are kind of things that happen that can make it very difficult and a challenge to be able to kind of do it. Finances, when it comes to self-employment, as you know, especially as a drum teacher, it's it's all about kind of keeping the students interested, and maybe they kind of want to go to university or they're moving away. That's the challenging part when it comes to uh, yeah, to be the self-employed the person, really, as I think it is with anyone. But it's just part of the sacrifice that a lot of us musicians do to be able to do what we do.
yeah. I know. It's just one of those things, and it's again, it's a unique set of sort of challenges when you get back, and it's a unique set of challenges when you're on the road as well. Um, and it's yeah, it's still the thing that makes it all worthwhile though for me. I mean, as much as you've got to record and all the rest of it, but playing live is what it's all about. And you know that South American experience of yours sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's cool because it's for me it's not just playing live. I mean, playing live is amazing, of course it is. It's what we do it for. But it's also meeting the people and having that understanding of what music means to them, and having that that bond with
Yeah,
the people who love music as much as you know, and they make you understand and that they know how important music is to people, and in general
yeah.
it is to people, and that you're not crazy for thinking that it's this amazing, wonderful thing that kind of somehow gets put down by quite a lot. Well, the government really, essentially, um, and yeah, it's the beautiful thing about music is it's not just about how it's not just about the sound that people enjoy, it's the emotion, it's the, the relevance to how it helps you therapeutically as well. It helps people get through certain things in life. Um, and that is not each other. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
it's music is the soundtrack to our lives, as once somebody once said, and never a truer phrase spoken.
exactly. Yeah. So when you actually meet people who feel the same way about it, I think that's a beautiful thing. And they
Oh man,
understand.
I love it when this is really basic and really simple, but I love it when people come up and just say like, "Thanks for coming," like
Yeah.
"Thanks for coming to our town, to our city, whatever, our venue," but just thanks for coming.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, they also have a story to tell to why they are that show, or why they like doing it, you know, what
Yeah.
it does to them, how it helps them get through life, things like this, and it just shows you the power of music, and that communication between band and fans is essential. You it's they are the ones who are keeping this business alive at the end of
Oh, absolutely. And they're the ones buying the merch live, and that's what's keeping these bands alive.
it.
Yeah, but it is
Yeah,
it is it's a pleasure, it's a privilege, and yeah, I mean, I love it, man. I'm really looking forward to. I mean, this is bizarre. So this year we haven't played a single gig, which is I don't know the last time. I think that's the first, to be honest. Oh, sorry. No, we played Swansea. What am I talking about? Sorry, Swansea. So yeah, one gig, not many, but as I've always said, you can't come back if you don't go away. You
yeah,
know, you can't just be gigging all the time. So looking forward to being back. Um, really am. And looking forward to playing the Northeast and seeing your little face if you're not on tour.
hey,
You have to come along, hey? Sorry, what'd you say?
listen,
I, for some reason, your mic's gone a bit dodgy.
these days, I know this because
Oh,
can you hear me now?
oh, that's much better.
Uh, Students.
Cool.
Technical issues.
That's better.
Why is it?
That's
Two
great.
seconds.
We're all good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Right, I can't.
Hear me
Ah,
now.
there we go.
Hear me now. Hello. Um, yeah, yeah. It'd be great. It would be great to. It's going to be weird seeing you in the crowd doing a gig. That's that'll be weird because I'll see you and I'll be like, "Who's playing the drums? Hang on, if he's down there."
Who brought the drum machine? Yeah, I'll 100% be there. Absolutely. It'll be
Yeah,
amazing to see. And it will be bizarre for me as well. Just kind of standing in the crowd going,
I
ah,
know. Well, the thing is, as well, is in your head you'll have the drums to the songs, but you'll be hearing different drums, and you'll be like, "Oh, hang on, that doesn't go there." Well, suppose it does now. You know.
Are you just saying I'm going to be a judgmental prick at the gig?
Why change the habit of a lifetime? That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
No,
Fair enough.
no, but no, but you can't help it, can you? I mean, it will be. It'll be
No,
like, you've played those songs more than anyone else ever. So, of course, you're gonna hear your drums to them, and then be hearing something completely different. It'd be interesting.
well, yeah. I mean, as you know, for a lot of the songs, well, I did put my own spin on a lot of the songs. You know, Motherly Love being one of them. There's
Yeah,
that drum thing in the middle that I do, of Motherly Love, and yeah, there was quite a lot of things that I did differently. So it'll be really interesting to see what Johnny does
yeah. Well,
without
the
being.
thing is as well is that you were in the band pre us coming back, so we took great care, and you took great care in keeping certain drum fills or certain just nods in songs that people would expect. Now we've been back 10 years, and Johnny's coming in. It's kind of like, just do what you like, really, because it's like, because you did that, and then you grew those songs and made them yours.
Yeah,
So it's like so going to Johnny, it's like, right, well, you need to make these yours now.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, I think for me, for me, it's important to have that thing that the fans can relate to because they've heard those songs for years.
Yes.
They're the fans of those songs, and they want to hear certain drum parts or
Yeah.
guitar parts, or, all that kind of stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's important. It's like imagine if someone stepped in from Metallica and didn't play the da 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 on True. It's like
What you mean, like Lars doesn't?
he fucking does. Shut up.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
Tell me what he's doing in the middle of one where the double bass drums used to be. Tell me what's going on there.
Sometimes he plays it right. Sometimes he doesn't
S-
play it
s-
as how
Sometimes
you.
sometimes it's triggered.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know, mate. I don't know this well enough. Oh, I'll tell you what. Do want to ask you about the two underwhelming new singles from Megadeth. Now, not from a drumming point of view, because I think
Mm.
both songs, the best thing about them is the drumming.
Yeah,
And as for the second song, like I don't care, and the video, uh, cringe,
yeah,
really.
it is not cringe. Yeah, the first one had potential
Yeah.
to be amazing. Um, I thought their last album was really, really good. Um, yeah, I think the song "I Don't Care" is a bit. Yeah, it's very to me. It
Do you
just
know
sounds.
what? Do you know what someone said to me? And I thought that is a great shout. He's like, "This is Megadeth's new single." Yeah, and this is like
The last.
written by Mustaine and the band. This is Megadeth's new single. Yeah. Then why does it sound like a cover? Yeah.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
pretty accurate. Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
their
It
last
sounds like
album
the
as
kind.
well, isn't it?
It's like the cat. It's like this. It's literally. It sounds like the kind of song that Dave's insisted they play because he's loved this band all these years, and everyone else has gone, "Oh, all right then." It's like, no, it's an original. Of course, it's an original. There's 6 guitar solos in it. Of course, it's fucking original. No one else is going to write a song like that.
It is their last album, though, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah. To which Mustaine has said that in the final album, final tour, the tour is expected to last about 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, for a last album, you would think like, they would really, really try and make it incredible. But so
Well,
far,
I think they have, and I think what you've heard is their version of incredible as to where they're at right now. I don't. Hey, who knows? But one thing, like you know, Dirk's drumming on both tracks is, the best thing about either song.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's an incredible drummer, as you know, one of my top five drummers is Gar Samuelson, who was the original drummer of Megadeth, and Dirk's a huge fan of Gar. Um,
You can
you know,
tell.
if you yeah, I mean, if you watch his cover of Mechanics, he plays it like Gar did, and it's yeah, and I said it to people a while ago, you know, when Dirk was joining, I said, you know, it'd be incredible to hear him on an album because I think it's going to be very close to what Gar used to uh, drum, the way Gar drummed in Megadeth, you know, and it absolutely is, you know, incredible drummer. I mean, his drumming and soil work was amazing. As you know, I'm not like a huge fan of blast beats. If I think they're very overused. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I think they're very overused. And I think, you know, what Dirk did even in Soilwork was just totally original. You know, he did it his own way and used them when they needed to be used in relation to the music. So yeah, I mean, his drumming is absolutely incredible, and I'm really over the moon that he's in Megadeth, and he is the drummer. He's definitely the right guy. Uh, But for me, with the Megadeth songs, it's like, yeah, we've heard the two singles, but now it's like, you know, will it work? Will those two singles work um, for the flow of the album? Because you
Yeah,
never know from singles, you know. Sometimes you can hear a single and you be like, and then you hear it on the album, you go, oh, now that makes sense.
dude, the two singles from the Dark Angel album, I was like, meh. But on the album, they just kind of work.
Exactly, exactly. So that's why I'm kind of refraining from going, you know, that sounds shit. But
For now.
yeah, for now, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the album. So we shall see. We shall
Yeah,
see.
no, me too as well, man. Me too. Well, look, this has been an absolute pleasure, mate. It's
As
been good to
always,
catch up. Been good to catch up with you, and hopefully, the next time I see you will either be like at someone else's gig, or at one of your gigs, or one of our gigs.
well, yeah. I mean, if you're not doing anything, come to Bloodstock Winter Gathering.
Alas, that's this weekend, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gigging, mate. But otherwise, I'd have been there.
You'll be there in spirit.
I will indeed. Look, thanks again, man. Really appreciate it. And look
Thank
after
you.
yourself, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Cheers, man.
Right. Pleasure.
See ya.
Never at all. Ciao for
Cheers, man.
now.
Cheers.
I didn't get it
You
in. I
fucker.
do.
See you later.
See ya, buddy.